So, Charlie, thank you so much for coming in, especially on such a miserable day.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, tell us a little bit about Transitions UK.
So, Transitions UK is a charity that I've only recently been working for, but we've launched a new project here in High Wycombe. It's called the Attain project, and we are helping young care leavers, and we use a mentoring service, and we match amazing mentors with our amazing young people. And the project can last anywhere, hopefully over 2 years with these young people. And we basically look at what needs they have, what needs they may not realise they need.
Yep. Because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. And it takes a really long time to build up those relationships and build that trust. And just really excited to have the project here in High Wycombe. So it was really successful in Milton Keynes, and we've kind of picked it up, put it in High Wycombe. There's also a new hub in Aylesbury as well, and in Chesham.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's exactly what you said. We don't know what these young people may need or may want, but
and they themselves may not know because they haven't been in that position before.
Exactly, but we work together really closely with them and the mentors to figure out what those goals might be. Could be anything, really anything, and we kind of work back from that top goal and see how we can get there. Looking at all different ways. I mean, obviously education and training is going to be a key one, but also other things. Super interested in alternative things and creative ways of how we can meet those goals.
Absolutely right. So what is it you're looking for today?
Today we're on a bit of a call out for mentors in the area. Maybe someone who's thought about mentoring in the past, hasn't had the opportunity, and now's the time to get in touch.
So what sort of people can put themselves forward as mentors?
Anyone who, everyone's skills are so different. You might be sitting here thinking, there's no way I could be a mentor, but everyone has it in them. Some skills that you have would definitely help out our beneficiaries. Young professionals, people who've been in the business a long time, coaches, footballers, like literally anyone who wants to offer their time and skills, and have that willing to be persistent with, and to help with that engagement with our beneficiaries. We're open to anything, and just love meeting all the new people that want to come and join us, really.
Indeed. What sort of time commitment are we looking at? Because I think a lot of people will be saying, I'd love to help, but I don't think I've got the time for this.
We look at about an hour a week.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, about an hour a week, sometimes a little bit more, depending on what's happening, or maybe there's an event that week that beneficiary needs help with. And we would like it to be face-to-face, if possible, obviously socially distanced and everything in a safe way. But there is obviously other ways. A quick Zoom call to check in with your beneficiary, or a WhatsApp could be really important that week. And even going for a walk, if you've got a dog and you want someone to help walk your dog, go for a lovely walk with your beneficiary, and quite a lot can happen on those sort of things.
And how old are the beneficiaries?
So we work with young people from 16 to 25.
Right.
With varying needs, but all care leavers for the Attain project.
Right, okay. So the phone ringing is not for you.
No, that's about to be answered. Just ignore it. But you know, we have a tradition of being close to the noisiest thing in the room.
Yeah.
Remember the milkshake maker?
Oh my goodness me! How could we forget the milkshake maker?
Yeah.
Just couldn't forget the milkshake.
One question from me for you, Charlie. From what you're saying, I get the impression that the crucial bit is actually the continuity. So they're not going to see a specialist and seeing somebody different every time.
Absolutely.
They're actually meeting somebody who can become a friend every week at the same time, or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And we do offer a wraparound service and a cross-generational kind of mentor match. So there wouldn't just be one mentor per the beneficiary. We try and work with maybe 2 or 3 mentors, just to avoid any gaps, and also just to have that crossover of experience with different people. But yeah, it's that consistency that we're really looking for.
I'm putting myself in that position of being a mentor, potentially or possibly, that for somebody verging on the big 6 to try and deal with somebody who's sort of 16, 17, 18, there's going to be a generation gap, quite apart from any gap in experience, and the problem of trying not to stereotype, but somebody coming from that position might be in a mindset of not wanting to trust anybody. So they get confronted with somebody who is of the same generation as their parents, who they may have big time fallen out with a few years ago, potentially.
Yeah.
A stereotyping again, obviously you can't generalise.
Every situation.
How do you get over that?
Well, like you say, every situation is very different, and we also don't know that young person's situation because we haven't met them yet. But it's about trust and building that trust, and there will be some boundaries and there will be some things to overcome with that young person. But it's just all about trust, and I don't think age should be a barrier. But obviously it can be, but we will match you on common interests as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that you'd start by finding out something that you're both interested in.
Exactly. So it could be something really simple like going to the gym. Yeah. Really simple like
Watching
that.
football.
Anything like that, and that's what we match on, not just skills that young person needs, but it's personality as well, and we're quite proud of the matching system that we do.
So having all that in common is great, but what is the aim of the mentoring? What is it meant to be doing?
So the mentor, depending on what we do with their development plans, we work together with the volunteer, with the young person to kind of set out aims and goals, and we figure out what that might be. So just for example, maybe that young person wants to become a police officer.
Right.
So we put the police officer as the goal in 5 years' time, and maybe they want a dog and a car and all these sort of things. And then we work back, okay, how are we going to achieve that? So, okay, we need to look at a driving licence. We need to look at maybe you go and see what it's really like to have a dog and things like that. And then also you look at courses that you need to do to be in the police force.
Yes.
So there's some key things, but then there also might be other things like maybe they're having trouble with sleep or a bit anxious going shopping. So there's lots of other things that we pinpoint, and we review those goals because it's very likely they will change. I mean, what I wanted to do when I was 18 is not necessarily what's happening now.
Absolutely.
So we review those things all the time, and we just try and pinpoint key things that are achievable, and we just work together with the mentor, with the young person of how we can. And I think driving lessons is a really, really important one, and quite an easy one that we can sort out.
If nothing else, because you know when you've achieved it.
Exactly.
When somebody comes back from the driving test with the pass certificate, yes, we've done it.
And things like confidence and mental health and those sort of well-being things were a lot harder to measure, but we also are very, very kind of out for that.
We're going to go into a little bit of a break first. We'll be right back after the break to have a little chat with you. So music, ads, music, and then we're back with Charlie. Right. So sitting across from us, socially distanced, of course, is Charlie Dixon from Transitions UK. Charlie, just before we went to the break, we were talking about what you do as a charity. Is it a charity? It is a charity, isn't it? It's the right word for it. And that you're helping young care leavers to actually find their feet in the world, which is a fantastic thing to do. And what you're looking for is mentors. People to come forward from any walk of life, somebody who knows that they've got something to offer, they can help out, and they can do something amazing by helping a young person. And do you know what warmed my heart the most about this? It was the fact that it's 16 to 25. And the reason that was so important to me is because I remember once upon a time, it used to be once you were 18, that was it. You were kicked out of the care system, you were on your own 2 feet, and you were left on your own to sort of fend for yourself in the world. Yeah,
and that is the reason it's 16 to 25. There's a really pivotal moment where we would like to meet these young people, and it's about when they're 17 and a half. That doesn't always happen because one day you're 17 and, like you say, the next you're 18 and things change quite dramatically.
Absolutely.
We're also really aware of these young people that we're starting to work with, coming out of lockdown like we are, and will have been isolated as a lot of people have been, and how that will have affected them as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Absolutely. So when somebody's thinking about mentoring, they've got to take into account that some, not all, but some of these children, some of these young people may have come from quite difficult backgrounds, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. And those difficult backgrounds are huge range of possibilities that a lot of us may not have even realised is an option. But there is need to be a lot of empathy and just time to listen. And sometimes they may never, ever share with you their past, which is absolutely fine,
That's
because
fine.
we're talking about moving forward
Absolutely.
and transitioning into that next
Absolutely.
stage of life. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of hard stories to listen to.
Yes.
And it is that key point of once you're 18, you're on your own.
I find that so hard because, especially I've got 2 kids, and I know when they both hit 18, they were both at university, and all of a sudden, if you had an issue, you couldn't talk to anybody about it, or they wouldn't talk to you because they would say, well, they're 18, they're adults now, we can't talk to you about that. And I found that it was as if someone had slammed a door in my face.
Yeah.
It was very, very frustrating.
Yeah, and it's just picking up from that moment of leaving care.
Yes.
And just moving forward from that, and understanding that it is a very difficult process and that there is going to be some trust issues. But we have seen some absolutely amazing stories coming out. And I mean, I was just thinking about this on the way here today. I'm going to meet one of the beneficiaries straight after here today,
right,
for the first time.
Okay.
And I was thinking that maybe someone listening to the show
Yes.
could be their future mentor.
Amazing. Which
One day we may be able to come back and share that story that they heard on the radio.
Yes, indeed.
And that we met today.
So because we're talking about opportunities for young people, we're talking about mentoring, we're talking about some young people who've had quite a tough time with it and who may need empathy, care, they need a bit of patience perhaps. All of those things that, are really, really important. It's, you've got to be empathetic, because otherwise how can you nurture a young person into the real world of work and whatever future it is that they're looking for. So I mean, if for example, if I'm sort of listening to Wycombe Sound now and I've got my own business, and I think to myself, actually I could give somebody an opportunity here, how does that work?
I mean, we're always looking for partners. It could be, I've got work experience, we'd love to have someone to come and work with us for a few weeks. It could be we've got a spare office meeting room. Would you like to use it for some training? It could be even like a hot desk. It may be, we've also launched a virtual project which came out of lockdown, and we're delivering webinars and things like that online, which can reach a much further radius. Obviously, it could go worldwide.
Yes.
So maybe someone would like to come and do a talk about their career, maybe how difficult it was for them, or setting up their own business.
Yes.
We've got a lot of young people who are interested in construction and IT, or things like podcast making.
Yes, indeed.
Things like that. Any skills like that maybe someone could come and deliver a one-off workshop, or could be online or in person.
Of course.
We would love to hear from anyone who would like to share that with us.
Which is really interesting, because what you're saying is if you want to teach a skill, to get in touch as well, because we could get you the mentors, couldn't we, Jonathan?
We could certainly try.
We can get the mentors, because the people listening, I would say that there'd be quite a few people listening who'd be very, very, very suitable for doing what we're doing here today and talking about.
I mean, you. Yes, I'm looking at you. You. It could be you.
It could be you. He wasn't looking at me, by the way, because he knows that I was worried about a broken nail coming in. I am not the right person.
I think you'd both be great mentors. I'm just going to put that out there.
Do you know what? I was actually thinking of fostering. Hubby and I were talking about it. We were talking about it because we both loved having our kids at home. They've both grown up. They've both left home. And it's left quite a big hole, actually, in our lives. And we're not enjoying that hole in our lives. And we were talking about fostering.
Yeah, amazing.
We're going to carry on that conversation, aren't we, Robin, darling?
I can feel a film trailer coming on. Coming soon. Mimi Harker is the empty nester.
Oh, don't. I really miss my kids, and having them back for lockdown really made a difference. So that might be somebody listening now who says, actually, my kids have left home, they've gone on to uni or whatever. I've got lots of love, lots of energy, lots of patience, lots of experience to invest in a young person.
And that's it. It, like, literally packaged in a tin. Time, empathy, just willing to have and share their experiences with someone who may need that.
Indeed. And Charlie, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that, please?
So there's lots of ways. Straight to our website, transitionsuk.org, or you can email me directly, which is charlie.dixon@transitionsuk.org, and we can share that on social media this afternoon.
Amazing. And will you come back and talk to us again?
We'd love to.
And just have a chat with us, especially if you get anybody, exactly as you were describing there. If somebody comes forward from this and you get that wonderful story, please
That'd
get
be
back
amazing.
in touch with me, and
Yeah.
let's talk about it on
Yeah,
the show.
that'd be great.
And then we can encourage even more people to come forward, because I think what people need to understand is you don't need super special qualifications for this. You just need to have a heart and
Yeah.
some patience.
Exactly.
Does that
Yeah.
sound about right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Care about the welfare
Yeah,
of young people.
Exactly. And just a bit of time
Time.
and whatever skill that you think you can share.
Yes, absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think this is wonderful. I do wish you the best
you.
of luck with this.
Thank you for
As I
having
say,
us today.
come back and talk about it if you can.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get somebody from here, come back and talk to us about some of the stories again.
Yes, definitely.
We'd love to hear some of the success stories as you move forward, because it's a brand new project in High Wycombe. We'd like to see it get off to a great big start here. We'll start with a bang. What do you reckon, Jonathan?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're listening and you think you might be mentor material, please get in touch. Do you want to give us the details again of how they can get in touch with you?
So it's transitionsuk.org or charlie.dixon@transitionsuk.org.
Amazing. And you've got a song choice for us.
Yeah, so I was originally going to choose a Fleetwood Mac song, but I think one of your guests last week chose that, so I thought I'd mix it up a little bit. So I've gone for David Bowie, Hero, and I thought we'd give a shout out to all our current volunteers.
Brilliant. And
Also, a great tune.
I hope Heroes and Hero are the same song.
If it's by David Bowie, it'll be the right one.
It is. I'm just saying, I hope so, because otherwise we might have a problem here.
No, never.
We never have problems on this show.
Excuse me while I collapse into hysterics.
Well, the thing is, nobody ever knows because they can't see us. That's what radio's all about. Anyway, Charlie, it's been a joy and a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for sharing your fantastic charity with
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Brilliant project. I wish you all the best, and I hope you get tons and tons of mentors.
Thank you.
Especially for you. Here's David Bowie and Heroes.